Hello, people. Said that when Affinity went free the other day, I would make a tutorial. Unfortunately, I've been sick since then, but here we are. Now, Canva.com will tell you Affinity is free and it supports PSD, AI, which is Adobe Illustrator, not AI like we're talking about, PDF, SVJs, TIFFs, blah, 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 blah. It is free. It works for Mac and Windows, and they said it's going to be free forever and you can blah 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 Canva. But what we care about, because most editing photos that shot software that we use is not free. So what can we use Affinity for regarding Second Life? Well, let's open Affinity. And now I just have to download something. You can see I was working with the chip midnight templates. So because it will open a PSD, we have our chip midnight templates. How awesome is that? And see, if you look at here, we have file, new, and you can do that, or you can just open your PSD. We'll open the other PSD. There you go. And we have our layers over here on the layer. We can change this to however we want to pick our colors. Link our layers on and off. Blink, blink, blink. And that's just click drag to turn them all off, on and off. But what we're going to do is we're going to do our favorite thing that we like to do around here, and that is we're going to make an alpha. So let's go to our Second Life, and we are using our standard body, so that the one that comes in your avatar welcome package. That way you don't have to worry about it. That's what you're making these bombs for, right? Is so you can get your avatar, your free body to fit other things. So we're going to go find a shirt. We can do that very easily. Let's go find a shirt. Here we go. This shirt does have legacy, so it should fit. But we're going to try the Laura on just in case the one we've got doesn't fit. Ooh, so we're going to need an alpha to fix this. It's symmetrical. And don't forget we have the skin. Where did I put that skin? Template skin. Ta-da! On, please. Sometimes it takes a minute. Now I think we might be wearing a skin over top of that. So let's go to our current outfit. Yeah, take that off. It'll eventually rebake itself, especially when we go to this figure. Okay, this is our guide. This is the front of the body. This is the front of the body where the boobs are. This is the back of the body. And I know it's got boobs, but the male and female bodies are exactly the same for not in shape, but where the little, these are called vertices. These are all these little bits are exactly the same place on a man and a woman body. They just put them in a different place. So they're exactly the same. This is your thumb. This is your pinky finger. This is your thumb. This is your pinky finger. So arms will always be symmetrical, which is good for this one. So we're going to go down here and create a new layer, which they'll call pixel layer. I don't know why they do that, but it works for me. Put it right there. I'm going to go over here and choose black. Don't have to choose black if you don't want to. Paintbrush tool. Fill flood tool. Blarp. I seem to have made everything orange. That'll work. We just have to be a solid color. Doesn't matter what color. I usually just use black, but hey, you can use any color you want. Now we're going to go to the eraser looking button, erase brush and tool. So we'll go back to our shirt. We can see it's pretty high and straight across. Oops. Wrong button. So we're going to follow, I'm going to take this line. I'm just going to kind of follow this across like that. And then let's see where it goes at the bottom. So here's your belly button. This is probably the bottom of the template. It's probably right about here, belly button knee. So I think we can avatar, health, forced appearance rebake. Yes, please and thank you. Nope, doesn't want to do that. I guess I should have made that as a over top of the skin. But so we'll go ahead and we'll go across here, up, and now we'll do the same across the back. You got to be careful with the what we would call the armpits. These little edges here, because those attach to the arms. They do not attach to each other. At this point, they start attaching to the arms up here and up here. So this little point does not go there. It goes to the arm. This point here goes to each other. So funky, yes. It was 2003 when they first designed these, so, you know, we looked good. We looked good for the time. We did. Trust me, we looked good. And we're going to go back and this is pretty high, so that's pretty much where that armpit is, right? Pretty much in that armpity area. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take out, keep forgetting I'm not in Photoshop. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that armpity place out with our little eraser button. Eraser button. Take the bottom of that place out, not the part that attaches up. So the arm, I think we're just going to go across here and across here. That should, let's see again, how long is that? That's not very long. So you figure your elbow is right about here. You can see there's just a tiny bit more shading here in the elbow. And this is, like I said, this is the top. You can see that because there's nails. See the nails? That's nails. That little bit of extra shading lets you know that that's the top. That is your right hand with thumb towards the bottom of your back. This is your right thumb, first finger, middle finger, third finger, pinky. So if you stretched your arm out like that, your elbow would be, that's the inside of your elbow. Your elbow would be on the outside. So this is your same hand upside down. Your elbow would be somewhere. There's a little bit of extra shading in here that tells you where the elbow is. This is gloves. This is a glove length to help you with elbow length gloves and stuff. So we'll just try it for now to do this long and see what it looks like. But here we go. The only difference between this and Photoshop I'll show you, other than some of the wording they use. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, down, and I went to 2 over here. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Click your the background that you were using. Oh, we forgot to flood erase those big splopses. I'm going to turn our opacity back up. Whoop. Make sure you get rid of, there's nothing in the background. Now, instead of saving it as a ping, you have to do export. Export. You want to export as a ping, just a regular ping. You don't need any of these extras. You don't need any of this other stuff. You just need it to be 1024 by 1024, or you can shrink it down to 512 by 512 if you want. Alphas don't really need the kind of detail that we're looking for. You should never have an alpha be 2440 or be 2048 because that's just way too much detail for an alpha. You can only do so much with an alpha. So you're going to export. It's going to ask you where you want to export it. I'm going to export it to the same folder as my template because that's what I do. And save. Go back here. Click on the plus sign, new clothing, alpha. Tutorial alpha. We're going to attach that and it's going to go, what do you mean? Oh, now you put on the skin for me. Thank you. Thank you so much, love. Appearance, edit alpha, edit appearance, edit the alpha. Our legs are being weird. And we're going to go to the upper alpha, local, add. I'm going to slow that down a little because sometimes I go a little fast. I realize that. So we've made our new alpha by clicking on the plus sign and going to clothing, new clothes, new alpha. We named it tutorial alpha, but that doesn't have to stay. You can rename it at any time. Then I went to right-clicked on myself and edited appearance. And now look, if you see here, you've got, this is what I'm wearing. The only thing that I'm wearing is a system that I could edit would be this tutorial alpha. Click this little gear. Now I'm going to click where it says upper alpha. And right here under the big picture is inventory, local, and bake. We're going to click local, and then we're going to click add. This is a local texture, which means you get to upload it for free, but you can't show anybody other than yourself. So, but it's a way to test textures to see if they work, which is great for making alphas because sometimes you can do 1,000 of the same alpha. Now we got to look for whatever I named it, which was Tutoria Alpha. So it should be around here somewhere. That's right, it's orange, I forgot. Boom. Then once you've done that, you click on it and it'll apply here. And you can see we messed up where the arms are going to be because we weren't wearing our skin. But that's okay, because now you can see that all these lines line up with the ones on the thing. And the actual, there's the seam matching guide. That's actually supposed to be down here. Come down with me, guys. We can also just make, hang on, come down here, guys. You should be below that, there. So we'll turn those on. So then you've got what we call the seam matching guides. So you got little colors and sides, upper, to help you line things up better. And it says back, front, arm. And then you just, the layer on top of that. Beep, is that? Where is that? Did I somehow... Oh, I somehow put that in there. Okay. See, learning things I didn't even know. This is the label matching, which is like every little big line has a colored line here, and it matches over here. Orange to orange, yellow to yellow, light green to light green, dark green to dark green. aqua to aqua, blue, light blue to light blue, blue to blue. And see the next color should be pink if this was for, if these were just matching up folder to folder. But this is where, right here, blue and pink, and right here is where they go, nope, arms. And you would think it'd be this pointy part, but no, it's down here. And that's when it gets stuck to. So this dark pink goes down here to one of the to the, because the arms are side to side. Okay, let's go look at our thing. The arms attach in a weird place. See where the A1 and the A1 meet there? Okay, we gotta find A1. A1 and A1. Now find A1 on your, see? A1. The arms are weird. Seams have always been hard with the edges of this template. They've always been harder. Never known, you can try and you can spend hours lining them up, and I have to make some BOM leggings, but they will never be exact. Never, ever, ever, ever. Because I mean, look at this little weird divot here in the finger. Why? That's why we've gone with mesh bodies, and they seem so much easier. Because you can take that mesh body into either Substance Painter or one of the other 3D painting programs, and you can just paint right across those layers without having to worry about lining them up on a template. Getting to know the behind the secrets, behind the scenes things. Yeah, you need like 18 different programs to do to do anything with mesh bodies. You need you could still do tutorial. You could still do texturing mesh with these things. With this Affinity, you probably could. I don't know if it has the kind of filters. Like there's a filter that I use in Photoshop that is to make normal layers, but I usually use Substance Painter for that now because it makes much better normals. So I don't know if there is, like, they do have filters, I guess, because some people like to use like a noise layer to add speckles or liquefy. I guess they can add plugins, so you should be able to plug in. I do not know. Have not played around with this more than just to make sure I could do a tutorial on how to make a alpha. Now that we've got these, turn these back off, and what do? We said we need to move the arm down a little bit. Wrong program, over and over. So we need to take this arm. Let's turn our layer back so we can see through it. We need to, that is the paintbrush tool. And we'll make sure it's orange, thank you. And we will paint this back in a little bit. Yeah, so we will paint this back in a little bit. And look at the bottom. Oh Lord, we need to take all that out. Affinity. So it looks like we need to go this way and maybe that way. No, I think we need to take more out. Let's look at the chest. We're good at the chest. Around the chest, we should take a little bit more. Oh, that's handy. Where all these come together, that's how far down we should go. That's going to be handy. Find that. Oh, there it is. Whoosh. Oh, go to our eraser tool. Oh, to change to different tools under the one tool, like that, that is your opposite click, your right click. Left click makes you draw, right click makes you choose your tool. We're going to choose the erase tool, which is just a brush that erases. Whoop. And we can just erase all this. What I used earlier that erased that whole little block is under the erase tool, it's called the flood erase. It'll flood the entire area of one color. Like I had that whole like little island of color. It will erase that whole thing. Poof. Now, if the background erase brush is for if you had like you're trying to take a picture of your avatar and put it on a different background, you would stand in front of like a bright green background. And if you wanted to make that go away, you could sit there and you could draw around it real tiny with the entire, with one little pixel, or you can just adjust the, this is your opacity, this is your, how big the brush is, the flow. You could choose all those and stuff and just click on it and it would go poof and make the background disappear. Maybe not quite that simply, but pretty close. Now, it will look here, and that is red to light orange and pink to red. So here's our red, light orange. We're a little bit into the orange. We're going to across to the pink and red. But now that you've got a free, something that looks a lot like more of the tutorials, a lot of the tutorials are going to look a lot like this, the ones that use Photoshop, because this is basically like a Photoshop UI, as we understand as a UI is user interface. It's a lot like a modern, woo, like they updated it for the 2020s or something. Basically what it is, like, woo, we made it cool and modern, but it does the same stuff, yes, but it looks cooler. And you don't have to deal with Adobe. So that's a nice bonus. So now that we've gotten all those, I'm going to get rid of the little bits here and there. We'll see how we've done. Oh, clean that up a little bit. Da, da, da. And remember, file, export, export, click. Make sure it's just regular ping, ping, export. Then you're going to have to find what it was up here. Tutorial, alpha, it'll pop up. Save. Yes. Then we quickly go here. Boom, it changed. Now it'll stop changing if you hit save as, and you'll have to do this all, you won't have to do it all over again, but you'll have to get back into editing. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. Now you can see here on the arm, this is this long pink part is, that's where the arm is split into those two flat pieces. So it looks like this is the bottom of the arm. So it looks like we need to take a lot more off the bottom of the arm than we do the top. It looks like we need to take more out of that arm. Ooh, we should do a little higher. A little higher in the back. But we could sit here and tweak this all night until it was perfect. But we don't. I don't feel like doing that. You don't feel like doing that. You just wanted to know how to do it the first time. So let's do this again one time real quick. Put on your tutorial skin. I have it free up on the marketplace. Feel free to buy it. It is called Template Skin for Making Alphas. Ta-da! Wait for it to eventually load in on your character. Put on the piece of clothing that you wish to wear that does not fit. Study it. See how the colors line up, where you want to cut out body parts. And open your PSD with all your little, make a new layer, which is this little checkerboard looking thing. Boop, new layer, create a fill. Go to the fill layer, which looks kind of like a bucket. Fill layer. Use your eraser tool after you've turned this a little bit see-through, and then erase. Erase whatever you need to erase. Line them up. When you've got a box that you need, you can go. That's how I do it. I usually go around, click on the eraser, go to flood tool, click, oop, got rid of that whole piece. Save it as, don't save it, export it as a ping, because their only things for save as is this Affinity file, which would be great if you wanted to open it again in the same this same program. So you would save it here as whatever you want, your alphamaker.af. But since you want it to be an actual file that Second Life can Second Life can use, you got to be export as a ping or a JPEG. If you don't need an alpha layer, you could do JPEG, but you're still going to have a loss of quality because that's the way SL goes. So even if you're not doing alpha, do a ping, PNG. SL can also take GIFs, I think. No, they don't do GIFs, but they can take targas, which do have an alpha too. But you actually have to set up an alpha channel to do that. And that's another story for another day. I still don't. I've done it, and I kind of remember how to do it, but it's very, very hard. It's good if you're only doing like a black and white image and you want an alpha layer. You want to have like that be an alpha. Like if you're doing like fishnet texture, you can use that because it's that alpha can be a little bit more precise than the ping alpha. So, but we're saving as pings. Whatever size you want, lock aspect ratio, whole document. But before you save it, you want to close these and put yours back up to alpha, then export it as a ping. Okay? Thanks.